Yes, it is a Friday, but this is a very different kind of Friday, as in this industry, Bob McCown is going to have his last day on the Fan 590 in Toronto. Now, I go back a little bit with Bob, and in reality, the reason I'm sort of in this industry is because of him. It was back in 1994, and I was doing a comedy service that was coast to coast. And he really liked it. But when he found out the guy that was doing it was in Toronto, he was like, yeah, well, let's get this clown in here. Let's do it live. And thus it started. And as I came in to that time at the Fan, which was still on 40 Holly Street, it hit right at the time when there was an NHL lockout. So you kind of had a lot of time to fill. And fill it we did. I will say this, Bob. Those were some pretty awesome times. They were fun times. We laughed really hard. It really was my first experience in terms of sports broadcasting. Even though that was my background, there wasn't sports radio per se until the W Fan in New York, and then, of course, what happened here in Toronto. When Bob brings me in, I was sort of foreign to how do I juggle for what I know comedically and for sketches, and how am I going to tie this into sports? Well, because of Bob, who at the time went to Alan Davis and said, get him in, we figured that out. The one thing that Bob never gets enough credit for, that people probably don't recognize or understand fully, is that Bob would take chances. Bob was very innovative and would try anything. He was also very fearless in the way in which he would do it. And Bob, I think you know what I'm talking about, whether it was a crazy voice, whether it was a scenario, whether it was where you want to do the show, how you want to do the show, how you want the show to sound. Bob was never afraid to try it. And I think the one thing that, as I said, in this industry where if you want to make him the godfather of the format, of course he is. He is the face on that Mount Rushmore, and he is the first face, and it's not even arguable. He's been immensely influential on the format. He certainly, for me personally, and I don't know if I've ever had the chance to say it to you, but because of you, I've been able to have, since that time, a 25, 30-year career because of your kindness in allowing me to join you, to be a part of something at that time that was very, very new. And as much as there have been some, great highs, and I would say one bad decision, like the last one, I have had, and I've been able to provide my family with a pretty good lifestyle, and I've had a wonderful time doing it. And because of you, I thank you for that. And I think on behalf of the people in this country, the people in Toronto, that had the ability to have someone that was a real level of excellence that I don't think we had seen, whether it was interviews, whether it was the understanding of business and sport, and quite honestly, just the entertainment of what the format is supposed to be, what it should be. And I think in the last 5 to 10 years, it's a format that has become very stale, very vanilla, and very predictable. You were never any of those things. And I think as much as people may not understand the word kindness and giving, that's what you've always been to me. And I have never had the chance to say thank you. But on behalf of my family, Bob McCown, thank you very much. I look forward to your next venture, because with Bob McCown, there always is one. Thanks, Robert.